Koalas, we did it. While making this video, we hit 1K subscribers on YouTube, and I never thought I'd make it past 100. So thank you. For those of you that are new, let's play a prank on YouTube's algorithm and subscribe to the channel so they think I'm really funny or something. And I really hope you like the video. Has anime actually scared you? Whenever there's a ghost in an American cartoon, it's always silly or not even a ghost at all. Except for those 2 episodes of Hey Arnold that used to scare me as a kid. But whenever there's a ghost in anime, it's always unsettling. Like something is off, mysterious and at times tragic. And with anime, it's not uncommon for an episode to be presented with darker tones, because sometimes the circumstances of a death in an anime are a lot more nefarious than you think. And I think it's those circumstances that make these episodes more than a ghost story. They become haunting.
This place sure feels haunted.
The view's a lot better from up on this hill, though.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gonna let it get.
Welcome back, I'm Dusk. A lot of you may know me from my Anime Death of the Week shorts, but what happens when those that die come back? Today we're going to be talking about the ghost in anime, because it's not the fact that they die that makes their stories memorable, but why they still walk among the living. Japan itself is a really old country, and spirits are actually part of its history. Ghosts and spirits are actually believed to be more than urban legends, so naturally elements of these stories make their way into media, including manga and anime, and there are a ton of examples. But I want to go over a few that have stuck with me over the years, as their stories continue even after their deaths. And to make things a little more terrifying, these ghost stories have connections to reality.
LOL is in no way a suspicious group, so make yourself at home.
Now, if you've never seen this anime, you might think Dimple is just Mob's spirit buddy, the mascot for the series, and to an extent he is, but in life he was actually the leader of a cult, and from previous videos we all know that Japan has a problem with cults. He was the leader of the LOL, and yes, that's a laugh out loud cult. Perhaps the simple English name makes joining more enticing to foreigners, and more exotic to locals. Again, this isn't far from something that could really happen. In this particular cult, members are always supposed to be smiling, and with the help of hypnosis, Dimple was able to achieve that, with each new member being required to bring at least 2 new people. What's scary is this man actually had psychic powers, and he was able to assemble a large number of people in a short amount of time. Mob himself was able to resist his powers being the stronger psychic, and stopping his hypnosis. Dimple, however, turned out to be an evil spirit within someone else's skin. Ironically, Dimple himself called Mob a monster. The high-level evil spirit is then exorcised by Mob. After his death, the spirit was able to reform and keep the majority of his facial features. His goal is to become God. While Dimple said he wanted to join Mob and be good, there's always something off about his motivation, like he wants to use Mob. Would you trust his face? But he's still weak. However, he later is able to possess Mob's brother Ritsu. While he's not strong enough to fully control him either, Ritsu does have his own psychic powers awakened thanks to Dimple. So yeah, being possessed by a cult leader is a bit terrifying when you really think about it, even if he is glow-in-the-dark green. Now in real life, there was a Japanese cult leader named Ryuho Okawa, who was the leader of the Happy Science cult that started in 1986, claiming he could speak to spirits, Jesus, Donald Trump for some reason, and Freddie Mercury. Sounds familiar? At least the speaking to spirits part. The cult also uses the simple English name. Okawa also claimed that the cult had 11 million members, which is just ridiculous, but his wife said it was actually 30,000, which is still a ton of people, even creating the Happy Science political party, which thankfully failed after Okawa's death in March of 2023.
I love...
Say it.
I love donuts.
Toilet-Bound Hanako is a story centered around Yashihiro Nene, a student who summons Ghost Boy Hanako, who haunts the bathroom in an abandoned part of Kamome Academy. Also, does every school have a bathroom ghost? I feel that this is a common thing in old elementary schools, until they get torn down of course. Hanako himself is the strongest of the 7 wonders of the school, a group of urban legends that circulate among the students, that are actually real. Throughout the series, he is shown to be a very powerful spirit and is in charge of the other 7 wonders. But the story of his death is what's very interesting, as he actually has to keep the balance between the living and the spirits at the school, due to the deal he made with God, supposedly. It's been pointed out that this could be a translation error, but prior to his death in 1969, he was middle school student Amane Yuki. He had always appeared to be beaten up, undoubtedly picked on due to his small size. The young boy had a passion for space, and had aspirations of becoming an astronaut one day. Of course, where we are in the story, he never got to do any of that. In the episode The 4 O'Clock Library, after his teacher and fellow spirit Hichigamori Yoshishiro was destroyed, we learned that had not Hanako died a child, He would have become a science teacher at the school, and co-workers with his teacher. We later find out that he killed his younger brother, Tsukasa, as well. There isn't much known about why he did this, only that he passed away sometime after killing his brother. It's stated that Amane made the decision to never leave the school. The fact that he altered his own face suggests that he took his own life after what he did. A very sad story for the small shy boy who dreamed of the stars, and it makes Hanako's past life and death very sad. I can personally relate to the struggles of being a small boy myself, so watching Hanako constantly putting on a happy demeanor for everyone is super relatable. I do wonder if anyone else watching feels the same way. Now in reality, there is a Hanako-san urban legend, and she's not a boy, but she does haunt the bathrooms of schools. With her origins dating back to the 1950s, the story changes as it's retold, from Hanako being murdered by their parents to a bully student who took their own life, just like in the anime. Another story was that she was hiding in the bathroom during an air raid. She's said to have a bob haircut and be seen wearing a red dress or skirt. To summon Hanako, you must go into the bathroom on the 3rd floor and knock 3 times on the 3rd stall, and ask is Hanako present. If he replies yes, then you may catch a glimpse of Hanako-kun, who then drags you the hell through the toilet. Or you may be visited by a 3-headed lizard instead.
Li Pai Long is the best fighter ever, and he's always fought for good using his own form of martial arts, Dao Dando. Dao Dando means missile in Chinese, see? And he's
Stop it. Get some help.
Li Pairan was a martial arts master and movie star. This is a bit of a different ghost story from the others, but I still think it's one of the more interesting and horrifying stories, as the character is based in reality. And in the Shonen Jump series Shaman King, shamans use soul integration and work along the spirits. But for Pairan, it's much different. He was killed by Dao Xin, who had already killed 999 Japanese infantrymen in the Second War and turning them into living corpses known as Jiangshi. That's dark. Pairan would suffer the same fate, and be gifted as a corpse to his killer's granddaughter, Xiao Jun, as a birthday present. Of course they would battle with series protagonist Yoa Sakura. During the fight, Pairan's seal that controls him is broken and his soul regains its memories, causing him to go into a rage. With help from Yo's fiancée Anna, they were able to summon the spirit of Pairan's master to defeat him.
He's returning to his original form.
Pairan then declines to move on to the afterlife with his teacher, but instead forms a new bond with Jun, so even in death he can perfect his martial art. Later, as punishment, Jun's father cuts him up into pieces. Again, why is this a thing in Japan? In media and in real life. But it's okay because Jun knows human anatomy and can sew him back up as needed. As you could probably already guess, Pairan is based on real-life martial arts master and actor Bruce Lee, who died in 1973. In real life, Lee's death was untimely and mysterious, with many theories and timelines on what really happened still being discussed today.
Bruce Lee is officially declared dead at 11:30 p.m.
The spirit integration is one thing, but thinking about someone walking around with essentially Bruce Lee's corpse is pretty chilling. No live-action adaptation for this one, please. I don't want to see that. If you've seen a lot of Japanese film post-1950s, you may have seen a mysterious tunnel, and red lighting. The lighting usually signifies the dead, and a tunnel leads to the afterlife. Which brings us to March of 1945, the bombing of Kobe. Those that managed to survive had to live with the aftermath. The destruction of the city's infrastructure was strategically planned. That included hospitals, electricity, water, available food, crops, highway access, and Japan's largest port. But what does this have to do with anime? This is the setting of Studio Ghibli's 1988 Grave of the Fireflies. Directed by Isao Takahata, the film is considered a tragedy, and also one of the greatest films in Japan. We follow 2 orphan children, Seita and Setsuko. At the start of the film, we see Seita in red.
September 21st, 1945. That was the night I died.
And he's staring at his own corpse. As the children reunite, we go back to how they died. After being injured, their mother passes away. The siblings are sent to live with their aunt,
Plums. And I do believe this is butter.
who takes advantage of the little money and food Seita gets from his mother's belongings, only giving 1 candy tin to his sister. After some arguing, they leave.
Do you think a lazy slug like you deserves the same as people who are working so hard for our nation?
While on their own, Seita steals, gets beaten, and thrown in jail due to being desperate. He eventually returns to a very sick Setsuko.
She never woke up.
Setsuko dies from malnutrition, and is very hard to watch. After Seita cremates his little sister, he puts her ashes into the same candy tin. Later, Seita himself dies from starvation. Only holding the ashes of Setsuko, the janitors who are tasked with cleaning up the corpses throw the candy tin, releasing Setsuko's spirit. and the two reunite over modern Kobe. Not exactly what you expect from Studio Ghibli, but it's an important piece of cinema as it highlights the dire time in Japan. Now the film is based off 1967 semi-autobiographical short story by Akiyuki Nosaka. In real life, the author's experience was pretty close to this. He lost one sister to sickness and an adoptive younger sister to malnutrition, with the author stating Setsuko death was the same as his sister's, and in real life he wasn't as kind as Seita, that he would eat the food he got instead of sharing it with his sister. So the story acts as an apology to her. Oh, and it was adapted into a pretty accurate live-action film in 2008, so that's depressing. Sorry this took so long to make. You could probably tell what month this was supposed to come out in. Compound that with an exhausting work schedule, illness, injury, and overall not being in a good place. I really value the time y'all take to watch my videos, so I feel obligated to make them as good as I possibly can for everyone watching, and for those that will stumble on my little anime channel in the future. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a comment. I try to reply to everyone I get. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, hi. While you're here, watch one of the shorts. They're pretty unique and a lot of work goes into them. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. Welcome to the Koala Cafe. How do you like the new shop? Weekly Anime Scoop comes back this week, so check it out.